folks. Well, a good afternoon, good evening to everybody watching. Little bit of an impromptu stream that we're doing, a little bit of a somber attitude. Well, the whole feeling towards everything's a little bit somber. So we thought we'd do a show tonight to allow everybody to sort of like relax tomorrow on Sunday. We're gonna hold a minute's silence before we start doing anything, yeah, let's just try and reflect on what Queen Elizabeth did for us. But let's look at aviation through the ages. Since 1953, I think it was the coronation. Was it 52? Was it? Okay, so let's do that, and I'll kick it off with, I think that around about that era, the German carrier Lufthansa was looking at being created. So lots of stuff that people can get involved with. Let's just now, out of respect for Her Majesty the Queen, let's just have a 60-second, 1 minute silence. Okay, GP. Okay, everybody, thank you for your time there, and we appreciate it. Reason why we put the wildlife bird song in the background was because I know that Queen Elizabeth was a lover of wildlife, and you know, she's just a normal person, just like your grandmother. Heard some hilarious stories. One from Theresa May about her dropping some cheese on the kitchen floor when she was with the Queen, and the Queen just sort of like, she, you know, picked it up, put it back on the kitchen table, and the Queen just looked at her and smiled, and they carried on, and the cheese stayed where it was. But just normal things that you would expect to happen when you're visiting your grandmother or your elderly mother, or whomever it might be, relation. So stories of that if you want, but I'll kick it off with, and of course the wonderful thing about Google, you know, interesting stuff happening 1953. We can go up through the ages if you want. I'll come to your comments, I'll read them out. So let's get some factoids going from 1953. Kuwait Airways was founded, began flight operations in March 1954. Which is quite interesting. Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA Convention and Fly-In were founded, whomever they are, I'm not sure. At this point in time, there was a massive decrease in the need for seaplanes because of turboprops coming along and being not turboprops, sorry, but the era, well, even the jet era was starting to sort of like surface itself around about that time. So a lot of things being reduced in terms of the marine seaplanes. British European Airways, Vickers VC1. VC1, Type 610 Viking 1B, Lord St Vincent crashes on approach to Nuts Corner in Northern Ireland. Most unfortunate. I should have read through that one before I actually mentioned it. Okay, we're at the Renaissance, folks. I can't show it because that's what they desire, but of course there's a lot of people who come and stay here at the Renaissance. We're going to catch this Korean 777, and then I'm going to jump onto your comments. Everything all right, GP? Audio good? Everything's okay? All right, okay, here we go then. Oh, blimey, hold on a minute. It's a little bit wonky, this is, isn't it? No, that's not right. Probably going to go cock-a-hoop, aren't I? What was that? Oh, really? Interesting. Okay, so start up for this Boeing 767. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let me come to that. I'm going to come to your comments right away, folks. Stand by. Just heard an interesting factoid that Jilly's just told me, someone mentioning about her breaking tradition. Oh, okay. So, okay. Oh, okay. So we should get a start up on this 767. So, like I say, still a little bit somber. I'm sure it will be for a little while. Head-on shot of this 767. Yes, so thing was that we must remember, folks, is that she was a grafter, Her Majesty. I mean, how many people can you say at the age of 96 was still working 2 days up until their passing? Not many people. I can't think of that many people. I know there are a lot of very hard workers out there, proper grafters, but let's face it, she was a real grafter. And I like a grafter. Jay Loaf is a new member. Welcome, Jay Loaf. Michael Murray, Michelle Sandlin. Lots of people saying RIP to Queen Elizabeth, of course. And we're welcoming the new King of England. Don Michael, Terry Stapley. I was 14 at the time of Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth's coronation, and we watched on a small black and white TV. That is my first memory of that wonderful woman. Wow, 14 years old. Well, the only time I saw anywhere near Queen Elizabeth, less than sort of like 100 yards away from me, was when I was parked up at a BP station having a lunch sandwich, and the entourage drove past, because it's on the what is it? It's the main. Is it the A40? Hold on a minute. Let me have a little look here. Anyway, Yes, there she was. In her car, drove right past me. Didn't glance over, of course, or anything like that. Yeah. It's a crazy thing, isn't it? You see someone famous like that, and when someone's so much. Oh, that's interesting. Mrs. H, thank you. Squirrel. Dan Modelling Fan, Angie Paz, Emma Tozer, Jeanette Haynes, Joanne B, Julie, nice Helvetic, old one though, it's an old one. Don Michael, she had such a witty personality. She did. I remember a while ago, I don't know why I brought it up, but I did ask people to search for pictures. There is a picture, or one in particular, of Queen Victoria smiling. That was a rare photograph, but far be it that being the case with Queen Elizabeth. She was a very happy person, had a great personality, like Dom is saying there. Very witty. I think that's actually the Canadian 777 firing up in the background there. I think the 767's already started her engines. Gazbo 36, Captain Sky Marshal Julianne, Foxy B. She will be very much missed indeed. R.I.P. our beloved Queen Elizabeth. Indeed. Tara Michelle, as an American living in the UK, I offer my condolences to the Queen of this great country. I adored the Queen and she will be much missed. God bless her. Thank you very much indeed, Tara. Dave Carrington, thank you, Jerry and Jilly, for that. It was very apt. The Queen was an inspiration for all, for her selfless devotion to her duty and to her country. Yes, indeed. Non-stop, she was. I think the only time. Yeah. Oh, did they? Oh, really? Oh, bless. Isn't that sweet? Lord Thomas McRae, the Queen was the nation's grandmother. Indeed, she was. I think the only time that she actually came away from her duties was when she lost Philip, wasn't it? For like 2 days of mourning, and then that was it. She was straight back on duty. An amazing woman, man. An amazing woman. Odette Hull, God bless her. She was so loved. Julianne, Emma Tozer. And also, yes, Emma, I'm not sure if she actually loved her planes, and I don't want to in any way say that, but she kind of, she knew, she was able to distinguish, aircraft that were flying into Heathrow from Windsor, over Windsor. Oh, look at this beautiful 350. Sorry, folks, got to cut away from that to get this 350 touching down. We haven't seen this for a while, have we? Someone was being interviewed today, and they said that it was again another sign of her just being a normal person was when you know they were talking with her, and she just got a lipstick out of her purse and started doing her lipstick, just crazy, and noticed that this lady hadn't got a drink, and she said, "Would you like a coffee?" You know, I mean, just a fantastic person. Just a fantastic person. Oh wow, yeah, okay. Sarah Faro, yes, I couldn't help but laugh with Theresa May and the cheese. It was a very funny moment. Whilst everybody else was being very sort of like, you know, serious, Theresa May told that story of the cheese. Very funny indeed. Beautiful sunset, really. What's going on down there then? Interesting. Nothing too serious, one would hope. I think that Asiana jet is actually going to park up opposite us, or somewhere close by anyway, I think. Neil Quinn, thank you very much indeed, Neil. Some lovely sentiment, some lovely comments from people. Of course you're going to get your idiots. Of course you're going to get your idiots. It's you know, I mean, yeah. Oh, a fake booker. Just another fake booker. Simple as that. You need to look after yourself, mate, because you're obviously that gullible that you believe things like that. You know, you need to get out a little bit more. And literally, I do think that people who are so pinned to their Facebook and believing what people say on Facebook, that they really should. I left Facebook 6 years ago. Never been back since. Not interested in the slightest. It's just a breeding ground for hate. And it's as simple as that. Because people can say exactly what they like. Yeah, I know. But I know. Yeah, social media in general, you know, just. But it's. Yeah. Is it not far easier to control your Twitter page than it is your Facebook page? I don't know. I've got no idea because I've never been. I haven't been there. just not interested in it. Craig Younger Sword was playing in the bandstand in the Palace Gardens a few years ago while carrying some music stuff through the copse on the way when a corgi just ran past me, followed by a woman in a wax jacket. Well, we all know who that was, Craig. Isn't that brilliant? A corgi ran past him. Absolutely brilliant. Beautiful profile of that A350. I'm sure Her Majesty appreciated design and engineering and all those types of things. She was very well briefed. Ladies and gentlemen, we have very fittingly a Queen of the Skies, Boeing 747. Is she definitely on? Is she turning from the north or from the south? Okay, folks, we have a Boeing 747, and there she is. She's breaking through the clouds there. I thought it was 53. Well, yeah, but I just googled. I googled when was the Queen's coronation. And it said 1953. Okay. Yeah, I think that when there's a passing, you immediately become but the actual coronation, I think the coronation was in 53, wasn't it? Yeah, possibly, yeah. So there we go, folks. Queen of the Skies. We've got one for our special show today. Going to be here through till around about 8 o'clock tonight. Did he? Yeah. Well, that being the case, we'll gear down. I hope that I imagine that Manchester airport would have laid some kind of some flowers in the seat of the Concorde that was statically displayed up there, because that was her aircraft that she used, wasn't it? That was the royal flight whenever it was in use, the Concorde, I think. Beautifully preserved. Oh, it's Cathay, it's not Singapore. Oh, why did you say? This is Cathay Pacific. Oh, right, okay. That's what I said. Oh, right, okay, sorry, folks. Ignore that. It is Singapore Airlines, the Queen. Befittingly, we will continue to call her the Queen of the Skies forevermore. She's got that title emblazoned on her, hasn't she? And deservedly. Beautiful. Absolutely glorious. Luckily for us, they brought her in on the northern runway. Could quite easily have put her out on the southern, put her in on the southern, but lucky for us. So let's get some factoids going, or just general information. If you wanna bring it to the table, folks, from 1953 onwards, sort of aviation related stuff, of course, because the jet age really Boeing, of course, around about the late 50s, wasn't it? Was it late 50s that hello, this is a private jet, isn't it? Qatar, that's a Amiri flight, isn't it? But he's not on radar. Good to see so many people in the sporting world, paying their respects as well. We've had some great messages, folks. All the people who've emailed us, sent us messages, thank you. Really, we're very grateful that you've done that, and it's a lovely gesture from people all around the world, paying their respects. I did say that she was going to pop me. Michael K, that KLM 737 that came in just now, 22 years old. Wow. Aditya, Asiana, hard on the reverses. Adrian Dickinson, the only time I see the Queen was in '66 when she visited my hometown of Melton Mowbray. Yes. Oh, actually, I think it might have been the Queen who opened there was a oh, my mum worked there. Something to do with the blind. Not there any longer. It was a she visited Haywards Heath. I'll have to come back to you on that one, but yes, I was very, very young then. Liverpool 67, the two American Walkers has to be the funniest. I didn't hear that one, Liverpool 67. I will try, however, to see if I can find that, the two American Walkers. That sounds funny. I think anything that. Yeah, I know, I said that. Princess Anne. Right, yeah. Oh, it was Princess Anne, actually. No, it wasn't the Queen, it was Princess Anne who opened that, opened that something for the blind. Yes. Pretty sure it was. Or was it? Now. Anyway, Ray Rosen, born in '53, the year she became Queen, and what a fantastic woman she has been. So sad that she has left us. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Ray. Mark Powley, thank you for the heads up on the Queen of the Skies. Steve Oddy, as well. Thank you very much indeed. Scotty too, 21 years ago tomorrow, she paid to a nation in pain. Grief is a price we pay for love. Oh yeah, she said to a nation in pain. Grief is a price we pay for love. It is lovely to see how much she is loved and was loved. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Scotty. Cianothus Blue. Cianothus Blue, ignore the loonies. Yeah, difficult one to do, really. But I agree. You've got to get everything, have everything locked down, haven't you? But there are some very gullible people out there, unfortunately, and unfortunately, they can become from being lovely, wonderful people to being heartless souls, unfortunately, lost out in cyberspace with all the other lunatics. But anyway, there we go. Jack Van Dix. I remember seeing at the 200,000 at one point, not sure what the peak was. Okay. Oh, was that the aircraft being tracked on radar, I think, going up to Scotland, was it? Josie Rawlings, the Queen, was an example to us all. She was a unique lady and will be missed greatly. Yes, indeed. Real sea fishing. Will LHR increase aircraft capacity with the oncoming funeral and influx of visitors? Absolutely no idea. I really don't know. I mean, it's pretty short notice, isn't it? Are we talking about next Monday? Yeah, next Monday. Oh no, it's Monday the 19th, isn't it? The funeral. No, next Monday's this coming Monday, isn't it? Yeah. Next Monday, Monday week. Yeah. Bilge Pump, one thing we can all agree on is that we all loved and respected the Queen indeed. John Walton, 747 Queen, very fitting. Josh Avey, will Terminal 2 still be called the Queen's Terminal? Most definitely, I would imagine. I doubt very much they're going to rename it. No, far from it. In fact, if anything, one would, the places and... Well, places are basically named after historic people, are they not? Etc., etc. Emma Tozer. Margie Ann. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Short stream from London Heathrow, just to show our respects towards Queen Elizabeth, just to check in on everybody, really. Just to see how you're all doing. I know it's not life-changing, but it is a moment in time when we can all reflect. It's a shame we can't just as a global community all sort of like hit the reset button, you know. I mean, even old matey over there in Russia, he sent his respects, didn't he? It's a shame, isn't it, that he can't wake up one morning and go, you know what, I feel like a bit of an idiot. I think we need to sort of like have a rethink about all of this, because I'm probably one of the most unpopular people in the world right now, and will continue to be so for the future. And it's not a nice thing, is it? I mean, and not only that, but you've got sort of like probably, I'd say, I don't know what the split is in terms of like those against and what those for Putin in his home country. But at the end of the day, there are a lot of very, very upset people out there. The airline industry being one in particular. Aeroflot is no more, isn't it? I mean, it obviously has got its internal structure, but that too will probably fall apart within time, because the materials are just not there to, and the backing from the engine manufacturers and the aircraft manufacturers is just not there anymore. I mean, I did hear a month or so ago that apparently they are scrapping or using one of their A350s for spares. They need to create an aircraft manufacturing program, do they not? That's not going to be easy because the materials, the raw materials, are just not there. And anyway, let's. It would be good, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be lovely? Sarah Joe, will the Queen of the Skies now be called the King of the Skies? No, Sarah. I think you'll find that we will continue to call her the Queen of the Skies. I mean, to be honest with you, the Queen of the Skies was not called the Queen of the Skies after Queen Elizabeth. It's just, it's a beautiful aeroplane. It is a she, and therefore, you know, King, Queen, and all that kind of thing. It's very befitting. Stop that thing very, very quickly. Ronda Jaeger, Emirates 380, 20 out. Is that 20 minutes or 20 aircraft? But anyway, thank you very much indeed. Petros, Dennis Brennan. Yes, indeed, Denise. Can't help but think about what the then Princess Elizabeth was going through at the age of 25 on her flight home from Kenya after learning that her father had passed away. Terry G, I have been very sad. She has been my queen all of my life. What wonderful lady she was indeed, Terry. Thank you very much indeed. Matt Cat Lady 747 will all forever be the Queen of the Skies. Saying that the 380 is the king. I don't know, is there a king? Is there a king? If there was a king, it would be, well, Maria, the 225 was a female, wasn't it? So it's a difficult one, that. It's a difficult one to call, really. Virgin Atlantic readying themselves. It's going to come up on us quick, folks. Virgin's 339 aircraft that's going to be delivered to London Heathrow somewhere around about the very early part of October, sorry. Anthony Kidd, no, not going to be at London Heathrow tomorrow. Matthew Thompson, loving the A220. Good evening, Adam Ross. Andy P, thank you very much indeed. I think all the Raws do a fantastic job. Ewan MacArthur, Tom Jennings. Next queen would be Princess Charlotte, but I don't think that will happen as William and George are above. Steve Wishart. Yes, indeed, I think Steve's right saying that most of the VIPs and dignitaries will land at RAF Northolt. I'd imagine, look, Finnair's 330. It's not something we've seen very much of recently. Is this ETA? Really? Yeah. Yeah, it is something that we all knew was inevitable, but we never really wanted to. I mean, really, at the end of the day, the Queen really was like a member of your own family, wasn't she? You know, if anyone in society was going to be, close to your heart, it was, and it has been, and it is like losing a member of your family. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is close to the royals and all that sort of stuff, and I completely appreciate and respect anybody's feelings towards that sort of stuff, but for me personally, and for so many people I can see on here, it is and has been like losing a very valuable member of your family. Stu Coates, big shout out to Stu. Thank you very much indeed for gifting 20 Big Jet TV memberships. You're a very kind man. Thank you very much indeed, Stu. Elliot Reed, very sad Queen Elizabeth II is no longer with us. She was a fantastic and inspirational lady. Joe, will you be at LHR next Sunday? I'm hearing loads of VIPs will be flying in. Next Sunday I'll actually be flying to Anchorage, unfortunately, folks. Yeah, we're going to be in Anchorage, leaving a week tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna obviously make sure that I set my alarm and wake, and I am awake. I probably will be awake with the whole time zone thing anyway, with regards to Anchorage. So I will probably be awake, and of course it will be televised across the US as well. Jorge, yes, mentioning about she was a great sport, wasn't she, Queen Elizabeth as well, doing that piece for the Olympics, with James Bond and all that kind of thing, and the one that brings a lump to all of our throats is, of course, the one with Paddington Bear, isn't it? It's his voice that does it, I think. Chili just telling me that apparently somebody left a marmalade sandwich outside the palace as well, with all the flowers, which is very befitting. How sweet is that? Hertfordshire 247. RAF North Wood is also one of the most secure. RAF North Wood, is that Northolt? Is that maybe a typo there? I don't think I've heard of RAF North Wood. Real Sea Fishing, Andy Ross. Well said, Adam Ross. Yeah, we're all at one together here on Big Jet TV. Squirrel. Justin Clark. Did you see Thai Airways sold one A340-500 and four A340-600s? The planes have been parked for 13 years. Justin Clark saying, wow, that is pretty amazing. Thai Airways having, wow, that's what British Airways should have done with their jumbos, shouldn't they? It's amazing when you see the Australian customs shows and see some of the beautiful old like Thai Airways 747s, Qantas 747s, 346s, BA 747s on there, even though they're very short glimpses of them. Be good to get hold of the production company actually and say, hey, listen, do you mind giving us your stock footage and we can put together a great big reel of cool stuff that you shot at, well, they've done it everywhere, haven't they? Sydney, Perth, I think. It's a second Etihad jet we've seen coming in. Yawning in it. Yeah, I'm going to be travelling all next Sunday, folks. What time's my flight from Heathrow to Frankfurt, GP. Oh my good God, are you serious? Oh, flipping it. Really? Oh my God. Oh. Wow. Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is harsh. That's really harsh. Oh, that's so harsh. But anyway, it is what it is. Waycat Services, Melbourne. They sold all 5 aircraft for a total of 9.6 million. Wow. I mean, that's how much one would be worth 10 years ago, wouldn't it? Shannon Lonergan, thank you very much indeed. Condolences to all my friends in the UK and her territories on the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. May she rest in peace. Andy P. Wayne Hartshawn. The one speech for her was her COVID message. A frightened nation, but she said made us feel at ease. I remember her famous words, "We will meet again." Indeed, yes, she did. Yeah, we all got through that together as a proper name. Bit like the old stiff upper lip Second World War spirit, wasn't it? You know. And I think, to be honest with you, I think Charlie's going to be a good king. I think he's going to be a good king. You know, I mean, it was totally unexpected that he did that crowd line, shaking hands and welcoming people and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't. I don't think it was planned. So well done to King Charles III. Yeah. When's going to be the first time we sing the national anthem? Yes, no, I know, but in a proper sort of, like, you know. Well, I'd imagine it's going to be at a funeral, isn't it? Isn't it going to be? I don't know, but I'm talking about like a. Roll that all the way out to T5. The sun's going to hit the base of that cloud any moment now. Yes. Yeah. No, I know. He very, very, very much so. Very much so. Yeah, it is a good thing that he is such a strong advocate of the environment and. Oh bless. It's quite a high-speed approach for this Dreamliner, isn't it? Oh, Air India special livery. Wow, very late on the spoilers. Very late on the spoilers. Dreamliner start. Electric start on the Dreamliner. Normally, not very loud, I have to say. Now, we should be able to see, it was Rolls-Royce engineer who told me, should be able to see. Now they look like, because the spiral is, this is a tricky one, because I'm just wondering whether it's the Gen X engine or the Trent engine. I think it's the spiral that's the pointy spinner, I think, or is it the line? J Bay 2608, Keisha and the Moo-Moos, Shannon, Andy P, Penfold Gaming Channel. Paddington Bear sketch, yes. Wow, hit that deck hard, man. Now normally, with the Dreamliner, electric start system on the okay, is he going one at a time here? I think he's going number 2 first, yeah. Number 2 firing up first. Oh, no, dual start, here we go. Dual start electric, I think. Oh, hold on a minute. No, he's being towed to remote stand. He's not going out. That's why they're windmilling, because of the airflow. So he's not going anywhere. Captain Sky Marshal, it is the Gen X engine. Thank you, sir. Oh, Cianotha's Blue, just reading that Rolls-Royce have pulled out of the Boom project due to finances. Now, Rolls-Royce, folks, that's a big deal, because Rolls-Royce were obviously the engine, well, the main engine. They may have not been the complete engine manufacturer, but certainly a very important component of it may be the combustor or whatever it might be. But yeah, that's because obviously you need to put a lot of money into research and development, don't you, for something like that, because it is an all new engine. So they're obviously keeping their development costs for the Ultrafan engine. But yeah, that's a great loss, I would say, to the Boom project. Huge loss, huge loss. Looks like see the spare engine right there, folks. Whether that's going on that aircraft, I'm not sure. There's a Dreamliner. A couple of engines there, look. .380 on approach. Liverpool 67. That BA 777 just came from Cardiff. Yeah, it's nothing to be shocked about. Liverpool 67. Obviously, it's maintenance. They what? Sorry. Oh, okay. Contrasting skies. Dreamliner with another Dreamliner with gear down. It's quite a common sight, I have to say, with the Dreamliner. All electric brakes. I think that's partially the reason why, folks, is because the Dreamliner does have, the Boeing Dreamliner does have electrically powered brakes, not hydraulic power. So one of those brake assemblies has either failed or is faulty. As a result of that, one of the wheels continues to spin whilst the other ones are braked automatically. But yeah, very interesting. Happens quite a lot, gotta say. It's nothing new with the Dreamliner, really. Oh, come on, man. It does look very odd, though. Looks like a flight test for a new aircraft, because that's generally what they do with a brand new aeroplane taking to the skies for the first time. They'll leave the gear down in case of failure of the undercarriage system. Generally tend to fly at low level as well. There it goes. Heat vortex from that other jet. Roxy Simmons. Thank you, Roxy. Very kind of you, gifting 5 Big Jet TV memberships. What a lovely thing to do. Cianothus Blue, loving the sunset. Andrea. Clive Clark. Yes, I've got Stu Coates. Yes, I did. Yeah. Chris Mason, BEA, due in about 12 minutes. Now, that BEA would have been around about that time, wouldn't it? Long before BEA and BOAC merged to become British Airways. $1950, was it 58? Exercises, likely just to be exercises, folks. 1974 they merged. Wow, quite late on then. BOAC merging with BEA. Interesting. Nothing squawking, is there, GP? Okay, we've got any ops vehicles? There's a few ops vehicles positioned around the airfield. There's believe it or not, trust me, folks, there is a vehicle behind that wall there that I can see. There is one there. There's another one here. Yeah, there's definitely something happening, mate. Couple of vehicles. Most definitely, these guys have come from the other end of the field. That unit there. This is just I don't think this is related in any way. Only one vehicle out on the ramp at the moment. Emergency vehicle, that is. That ops vehicle, I don't know if that's relevant to it. Oh, is it? Oh, interestingly, that vehicle is actually going in to the airfield, GP. They're opening the gates down there, which is quite rare for that to happen, I have to say. Both engines running on this one. Yeah, it's not that one, because they would have chased it, wouldn't they? There's another unit coming out. There's another unit coming out. Yeah, another fire unit coming out. Nothing squawking, no. Yeah, these guys are going to turn, and these guys are possibly going to do a full. Yeah. Yeah, this is very rare. Look at that shot there, mate. Look at that shot there. Yeah, this is definitely something quite serious, I think. Got another unit here. Of course, it's nothing you like to see, and inevitably, it's always ends up to be. Okay, Singapore 777 currently over, and it's Pan as well, over the Lambourne, in the Lambourne hold at the moment, did you say? Thank you, Martin Akerman, one of our members. as in like just for its yeah, we've definitely got a couple of units over there. Ops vehicles, another fire unit. Just call it in for me, coming out of the Lamborn. Is that it turning on from the north at the moment? No. Oh blimey. Okay. Let's hope it's nothing too serious. What did they say? There's more vehicles joining the stack over there. They're I can't just yeah, they're coming from all directions now. You can just about see them. Yeah, this is quite serious actually, mate. This one, I think. Yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is that if it was somebody on it, they wouldn't be fire vehicles. They'd be emergency vehicles, wouldn't they? Like this is pretty. Yeah, they're coming from all. Yeah, but that would have gone down a lot earlier, wouldn't it? They would have diverted that a lot earlier, wouldn't they? Yeah. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to roll it now. Stand by. M6 Matty, very warm welcome to you, Matty. If you're joining us just now, folks, we have an emergency, we would call it. Would you call it an emergency? I'd certainly look at it as being an emergency with the amount of vehicles that are on the field at the moment. We'll wait for this Singapore Airlines 777 apparently. Yeah, well the first one came out about 10 minutes ago, that one over there. So, one would imagine that it would be possibly a fuel leak, Good evening, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is actually a tribute show, really, for Her Majesty the Queen, but it just so happens that, as is always the case, there is something happening here at London Heathrow, and we're right in the midst of it at the moment. This is BEA's retrojet, well, British Airways retrojet, the BEA 319, the last of the retrojets with British Airways for the time being, that is. Hopefully they'll have enough money to paint another one up in the future. Well, they're not keeping the runway. They're not diverting the other aircraft that are landing. That's a Vidaroo. That's the Vidaroo, isn't it? That is. Okay, let me change this because I'm having a bit of an issue with. Oh, okay. Sorry, folks. Just needed to. I'm just trying to see what that is. Doesn't make the blindest bit of difference, that setting, is it? Those lights are so intense. We don't really appreciate how intense those lights are, to be honest. Here comes the pregnant stickleback. So these vehicles that are down here will be standing by at the gates down there. There is a gate complex down there. There's a lay-by where there is a big set of gates allowing emergency vehicles out onto the onto access directly onto the airfield. Yeah, that's a single aisle jet. Looks like. Is that our jet right there? No. Okay, so it's the last one. Okay, that's it there. Gear down already on the 777. Interestingly, that's a long way out. That gear's been brought down. Can we see anything? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, is it a gear-related issue in terms of the locking mechanisms, and is it? Oh, easy, son. It may be a hydraulic issue related to the speed brakes or the ground spoilers. Yeah, maybe a speed-related issue that she's coming in. Okay, so all aircraft that are behind this Singapore 777 are now being put on 27 left. So they are indeed closing this runway down. You're going to start to see aircraft like that one vectoring for the let's try and see if I can pick it up. Okay, we'll wait. We'll just hang fire. Lord Geek, a high engine oil pressure is what I've just read. Okay, interesting. Is that the aircraft crew calling in with high engine pressure? Okay, high engine oil pressure. Would they not shut one of the engines down? Maybe she is coming in on one engine. We'll have to see. Okay, so all parts of the all segments of the runway are now covered. So let's have a look and see what happens. What we need to do is see whether she's running on both engines. Joe Spitfire asking, would the police be in attendance? I think it's a standard procedure, isn't it, to have the police, the security teams, everybody in attendance. It's kind of like any emergency scenario, especially for training purposes as well, even if it doesn't involve them. I'm waiting to see whether I can get a good shot of her, to see whether those lights are so bright. That's the intensity of those bright lights. So I'm going to be checking the engines. Somebody mentioning, Lord Geeker mentioning high engine pressure, whether that's one of the engines or both engines. Engine oil pressure, that is. Maybe even have shut one of the engines down. Yeah, sometimes the spinners are different from an older spinner versus a newer spinner. We'll soon find out. All flaps are extended, leading edge slats are extended. Both engines running, I think. She's down, mate, she's down. Yeah, but they deployed both reversers as well, so she's down. They will probably do a visual inspection, I'd imagine. The emergency services, they're racing to her now. Normally the procedure would be, well, they'll pull off. And of course now they'll need to do a runway inspection as well before reopening the runway. Is that a hot air balloon in the distance there, I see? Over Windsor. Yeah, they're going to be told to stand down in a minute, I think. These guys up this end. They will normally do come to a standstill and then do a visual inspection. Looks like all the, maybe not all the ground spoilers have deployed, but got enough there. Braking power, everything. Looked like both the engine reversers deployed as well. She's fine. They're fine. And like I said, the ops team doing a runway inspection just to make sure that so I'll stop it right where that always the case, isn't it? But yeah, I think we're all good. I think we're all good, folks. Well, in fact, we are all good. They're just what they're going to do now is they'll carry out a visuals check to make sure there's nothing leaking, because obviously if there is, they'll need to apply foam and or whatever retardant it is to both the aircraft and the ground where it's leaking as well, because you know that's a serious issue when you have fluids on the ground. Makes it very slick, very wet, almost gives it a film, like an oily surface. Is it Stefan Pigott is a new member? Welcome, Stefan. I think we're all good. Unfortunately, as is always the case, there's a building in the way. But there you go, that's the way it always seems to happen. But yeah, I think everyone's been stood down now. We're all good. Well, back to operations for another 50 minutes. Scott Salmi, welcome, Scott. Hope you and the family and the dogs are well. Chris BRZ, would the passengers know anything is wrong? To be honest with you, Chris, I think what would normally happen in these circumstances is that the pilot would let them know that we've got a slight issue, nothing to be worried about, we're just taking the necessary precautions that we have to. So if you see us parked up, once we've landed, you're going to see us, we're gonna head to a remote stand, they're going to do a visual inspection, and then we're going to go to the gate. So there shouldn't be that much of a delay, really, is what I would imagine they would say, just to make sure that the passengers are aware so that they're not alarmed when it does happen. Or whether or not, you know, because I don't think it was that serious that they would have to say be prepared to brace and all that kind of stuff, because you know, they're kind of, you're given that in your pre-flight walk through with the crews. So in that instance, it is like literally a case of I would imagine that those people who were sitting in the overwing exits, those doors, which is where I normally sit, would have been the ones who would have been briefed by the crew to say, okay, are you ready? If needs be, you need to do this. That would have been a very sort of like, you know, tense moment, I would have thought, for anybody sitting on the wing exits. Still, interestingly enough, still emergency vehicles deploying at the gates there. Quite a long time she's been sitting there waiting. Looks like the northern runway is back in use. Do we have an aircraft on approach? I think we do. I'll tell you what we do have over there is Thai Airways Dreamliner, which is pretty beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, it's all down to the seriousness of the situation, isn't it? You know, in terms of what the flight crew and the cabin crew, how much information they need to give to the passengers. But obviously, they're not just going to say it's a normal landing. Are they bringing I think they're shutting down the engines. Looks like they've shut down the engines and they've brought a tug out. So, you know, It's a bit like the old Formula One, isn't it? Right, shut the engine down. Shut the engine down. Both engines have been shut down as soon as the aircraft's in a safe spot. So, from what we know, it sounds very much like it was high engine pressure, oil pressure, sorry, which, you know, is related to possibly seals or just a malfunctioning component within the engine, oil pumps, the oil pressure regulator, or whatever component of the engine it might be, has failed on either one or both of the engines. I find it highly unlikely it would have been both engines. But to see the fact that they deployed the reversers was a promising sign, because had there been a serious issue with the engines, then they would have relied more or less on the brakes and the wing components, you know, the ground spoilers, rather than putting a serious amount more pressure on the engines. But yeah, definitely hooking up a tug there. Can't be a very nice experience for the passengers, let's put it that way. Operations back on. Maybe emergency vehicles for the for maybe some very upset passengers. I mean, very stressful situation. Dylan Smith probably gave line engineer on standby when it gets to gate. Yeah, there will most definitely be some, well, roles, there'll be General Electrics, won't they, GE, technicians. Singapore Airlines will have their own technicians, up to a certain point of being able to on-wing check those engines. But hey, if there's a they're halfway there with a funky shot. They're halfway there with a with what the pilots will feed back to them. Is this the Eva Air jet now? Yes, it is. See how big those flaps are, catching the sunlight. Was possibly I'll bring this over this way a little bit. Sorry, folks. Sorry. See any better there? See a bit better there now. There's certainly a lot of emergency vehicles surrounding that aircraft. Mikoto, at my airport, the line engineer is always there for a post-flight inspection. They're generally nice and let me indulge my curiosity. Post-flight inspection, interesting. Okay. Jack Van Dix, Tristan, Matt Jones, Mark Shuring, condolences to all of you on the passing of Her Majesty. Thank you, Mark. That is what we're here for, is to pay our respects, although things always sort of like happen when they're least expected. It's because what? Sorry, Julie, I missed that last little bit. Yeah, no, I know the reason why. No engines available to two terminals. 4 terminals. Okay, well there were a couple. In fact, there were 4 units airside that came from the airside stations.
Anything on the Singapore Airlines?
She's just sitting there at the moment, surrounded by emergency vehicles. We heard high engine oil pressure. That's one of the reports that came back. But she deployed her reversers, so you know, under those circumstances, it's a difficult one to know really, unless you know. I guess it will come out at some point.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you. No, I would imagine that the reason for the additional is just over precautionary, if you see what I mean. You know, you can't be too careful, can you? You can't. Obviously, you know, the more if something serious were to have happened, you know, the aircraft had have perhaps. One of the engines had malfunctioned, and lots of fuel. Obviously, the aircraft's still carrying a significant amount of fuel. You'd need a lot of units to deal with that, would you not? John Stoner, thank you very much, John. Some beautiful night sky. This is Qatar's 777. Triple. That looks quite new, that triple. Six years, really? Wow. Of course, Virgin Atlantic with the introduction of yeah, look, see, they're all following her. With the introduction of Virgin's 339 into their fleet, eventually they're planning to become one of the youngest fleets, certainly the UK, with average age of 7 years. They're looking at for their jets. It's Thai Airways Dreamliner making its way around here. I think it's going to park next to the China Airways, perhaps. Paul Weaver, I'm now able to confirm that the TUI flight Tom 5G Bournemouth to Rhodes this afternoon was subjected to a bird strike, diverted to Gatwick after having burnt off fuel over Dorset. So there we go, all safe and sound. Good thing to see. So already a Singapore 777 parked up over there. Are they going to bring her all the way up here, or are they going to take her somewhere to a remote stand? Mikoto, yes, the aviation industry is super cautious and never take chances. I've seen fire trucks deployed just because our Dreamliner had a very hard landing and hot brakes. There we go. Anderson J, no, ITA have not, far from it, done all their aircraft in the new livery. I'm sure they want to, but you know, you've got quite a few aircraft to do. I think they've got rid of all their 777s. Have they got rid of all their 777s and just gone with the 350s? Or what's the deal with that? There we go. There's your Biman Bangladesh 787. Always think of the display jet. Still coming. You see, the other thing as well, what you've got to appreciate, folks, is that a lot of these emergency services, depending on where they come from, will use it as an exercise. I always remember when I went to LA for the first time and I was in the hotel, and this massive, great big, like the ambulance arrived, and then this huge, great big fire unit arrived, and I was like, what the hell's that doing here? And I was told that apparently when there is an emergency, even a medical emergency, the fire teams will attend as well for training purposes, but also because you know, depending on the nature of the situation, they may be needed. You know, for instance, someone stuck in an elevator, or whatever it might be. But yeah, I think that a lot of them use it as a I wouldn't like to say use the word excuse, but use it to keep themselves on their toes, so to speak. Richard Mortari, yes indeed, ITA will leave a lot of their aircraft unpainted because of course they do have new aircraft on order, and they're just waiting for those to be delivered right now, so i.e. 350s. I think, if I'm right in saying, ITA have gone all Airbus on their new fleet. 350s, 320 Neo, is it? And A220s as well, I believe, are the plan. I think they're all All Airbus. Funky shot coming up, I think, maybe. Grubby it is around the doors. It's the so it's Rolls-Royce engineer. I remember him saying that, you know, it's, I think the Trent 1000 has the pointy. I think it's the Rolls-Royce that has the pointy, and the General Electric and other engines have the stubby spinner. That's just the very bluebird. Captain Sky Marshal, ETA Fleet, A220, 320, Family Neos and A350. There we go. Thank you very much indeed. Jabir Biman is choosing between A350 or 787 for the next set of aircraft. Okay, so locked in battle with, well, both Airbus and Boeing locked in battle with Biman Bangladesh, and I dare say with many other operators as well. Incident response unit. Now that's an incident response unit, so you know what, they wouldn't really want to take them off the line for yeah, interesting. Is he gonna make a left there? He's going left into there. Haven't seen any of them going from that area into the airfield. But yes, very interesting. I don't quite understand why the tell you what though, and you know, I'm only reporting what I read. Did you hear about the and this isn't a joke, did you hear about the two Air France pilots having a punch up in the cockpit? Flipping heck, eh? What about that? Come on, fellas. You know, I mean, you've got to ask yourself, what was it about? You know, no, I want to land it. No, I'm going to land it. No, I want to land it. Flipping heck, mate. Kevin Mottershaw. Sounds good. We like foggy mornings. John Stoner, loving the livery of that plane. Which one, John? Was it the, which one was it? On Mars Behind. Kevin Mottershaw. No, they're not waiting for another plane, Kevin. Oh, this looks like a DHL jet, A300. Dan saying apparently it wasn't the first time Air France has that sort of issue. Wow. Jill Perry, yeah, indeed. What did happen to the sterile cockpit? Surely both would have been fired, would they not? Brian Elliott, incident response are the HART team, hazardous area response team. They have probably come a significant distance and have been stood down. There we go. What's that, GP? Jabir asking for me to catch the Biman, and there she is. Amazing to see, and I know I don't like to bring sport into it, but I'm bringing aerodynamics and the incredible sights that you see sometimes that you don't get with vortex. Go on, son. Yeah, amazing to see vortex that is visible by heat. So it's actually hot air rolling off the aircraft. It's air that's rolling off the aircraft anyway, but seeing on the in the Formula One yesterday, one of the shots from the front wing of one of the cars, where you could see the vortex rolling off and over the front. You could really see it in use, and sometimes you get to see that with these jets. Vistara's Dreamliner. Yeah, sometimes we've seen it before on aircraft that are approaching, where a vortex will drift across the approach of an aircraft, which is, there's the, look there, they are towing her up to gate. They are bringing her to gate, mate, with a whole convoy of emergency vehicles behind her. So they are taking her up to gate. I'm guessing that those engines are still hot, understandably. And so they are just doing that as a precaution to make sure that should anything occur whilst the aircraft is being towed to gate, that and they will probably hang around, I would imagine, until they've disembarked all the passengers. Had it been very, very serious, I'd imagine they would have probably done an emergency evac, but that would have had to have been a very, very serious incident. But good to see everything's worked out all right there. Smiling, that 777. Bit of a smile on him, look. Kevin Pride, it's probably maybe a good point, that is, maybe one of them wanted to go on strike and the other one didn't, or something like that. I don't know. Looks like that engine's the one that's being worked on, isn't it? Maybe that's the one that's, maybe it's gone on, or Abu Dhabi. Loganair just started their route from Aberdeen to Oslo on Monday. Congratulations to Loganair. Thank you, Abby. 330 Sri Lankan. Trent 700s. Stefan, yes, yeah. I think that is. I think there's 2 engines there, but the number 2 engine on that Dreamliner is still in position, and it is possibly. I'd imagine, by the looks of it, it's the one that's on the aircraft now that's going to be coming off, and the other one going on. For whatever reason it might be. Oh yeah, I love that shot, man. When they sit down on those mains. See that suspension taking up everything. All that weight smoothly as well. Well, he's got any choice, is it? There's a lot of weight coming down on that main set. Oh, wow. Oh, dear. Okay. Well, each to their own. Each to their own. Puss in PJs, we landed with a Bosch and had to wait a couple of minutes to be connected to the terminal. Interesting. Okay, so a heavy landing is what you're saying. Stoner. Lots of people loving the yeah. Once the lights are on, it's very Christmassy, isn't it? Oh dear. Iberia 350. Pushing back. People loving it. Career insincere. Thank you, Sarah Joe. Harmick for Scanian. Good day, Harmick. Michael K. Lovely shot. LFC Ian Squirrel. Sweet. Mark Barr. Big foot. Kiss the tarmac. Big P. What a sweet touchdown. Paul Skilling. Paul D. How is the aircraft counterbalanced when an engine is removed? Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I know what you're saying, but there are hoist points on the wings as well, so that will take up any slack on the left-hand side. There are hoist points on the wing where they will connect the wing to the upper assembly within the hangar, which will take up any. But I'd imagine, to be honest with you, that they would not probably need to do that. And I'm just guessing that. because you know, it's not like they're changing the undercarriage, so to speak. I know what you're saying, that I mean, these wings, they don't. Sorry, the engines. Yeah, I understand the whole question behind the you know, taking up the counterbalance. But they may not need to. They may not need to allow for that. They may just be able to disconnect the engine and remove it from the aircraft without it sort of like tipping onto its side, because the engines are mounted very close to the undercarriage. Yeah, they've all moved away from that gate now. So I'd imagine that there probably is no need to add any counterbalance weight or hang anything off the pylon on the right hand side, should I say, whilst that engine is not on there. Odette Hull, I enjoyed my flight on the ATR 72. Takeoff felt so fast, it was brilliant. Well, great stuff, Odette. Quite close to the ground, aren't you? So it's you get that real feeling of speed. The smaller the aircraft that you travel on, yeah, the more aggressive it feels, so to speak. You know, a bit like being in a go-kart, really. A bit like when I'm driving my Transit and then I go and rent a car from the airport, and it's a little one with and, you know, really low to the ground. It's a very odd feeling initially when you've been driving in a high-up vehicle for so long. If you knows what it means. It is. Sarah Joe, what's the plane with the guy in with the helmet on? Oh, Aero Mexico. Yeah, sorry. Oh, okay, I've got you. Yeah, the livery there, yeah. Gotcha, Sarah Joe. Anderson J, LATAM. Yes, it is LATAM. It is quite kind of similar to Aeroflot. I agree with what you're saying there. Diane 78. Yeah, I'm sure we were all touched emotionally with proceedings over the last couple of days. Old Charlie saying, "My dear mama," bless him. You could see he was welling up and all, wasn't he? He was kind of welling up in a way. I mean, at the end of the day, I really choked when I gave when I was reading my trilogy, not trilogy, obituary. Is it when you write something for your loved one at their funeral? No, it's not. It's somethingology, isn't it? Eulogy, that was it. Yeah. I was. It really. I've never worked so hard in my life to not blab with me mum when I read her eulogy out, or is it my eulogy for her, or I can't remember. But yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough because at that moment in time you realise just how much they meant to you, and you know, I think that's definitely the case with a lot of people. Because we take it all for granted, don't we? And then, you know, and then you're like, oh, blimey, you know. Well, like I said earlier, man, it is like a very close member of your family passing, isn't it? Now this guy may do a big left-hand turn and face us head on. Actually, it's probably unlikely because there's nothing else on that taxiway. It's got her all lit up. See the light underneath the B of Iberia there, illuminating the engine, so that in the case of an issue, they can obviously observe what is happening with the engine. Coming back. Another Qatar jet. Distinct lack of 380s this afternoon, even though I know we're only going on for a couple of hours, but no BA 380s in the lineup, or finish on GP or anything like that. Liverpool 67, good night to you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. Enjoy your weekend. Randy Bushbaum. The dispute between Qatar over the paint issue and Airbus came to a head yesterday. Airbus cancelled all future deliveries for Airbus. Interesting, because obviously with the dispute, Qatar wanted to cancel. Airbus wanted to cancel all of Qatar's narrow body orders, and Qatar, it got overruled, didn't it, by the court, and the court said no, you've got to honour it. But now it looks like Qatar have completely cut them off, haven't they? Oh, that's a shame, man. It's a terrible thing to see happen. Why they can't just gonna go all Boeing now, aren't they? That China 350 is about to push, isn't it? What question did Jez White ask 4 times? About what? What about? Oh, okay. Foxy B, Franz Spurk, Jerry, teenager in sec. HM already is namesake of cruise ships and military vessels. Yes, indeed. Queen Elizabeth the Second. The QE2, remember, of course. Certain things, I guess, will be renamed because they're current. I don't know. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Wow, that Korean 777's going out quick, isn't it? Sorry, GP, did you... Oh yeah, Jez, Emirates 380, thank you. Darren 747, F380 just went into Gatwick. Okay, that's no good. Don't think I got a good zoom, but I ain't got one that good. Stephen Callahan, sorry, Callahan, Emirates 380 doing 26 minutes. Captain Sky Marshal Jerry, you should try Lufthansa 787 domestic flight Frankfurt to Munich. Frankfurt this October. That's short hop, wasn't it? Interesting. Terry G. All the very best to your mum. So 94. What a grand old age. The things these folks have lived through. Long old job disconnecting that engine, that's for sure. Of course, all those cowls, they have to be completely removed, do they? I would imagine they would, wouldn't they? Because you have all sorts of hoists and jacks and stuff that are needed to be put in place to hoist the engine up onto the pylon. Crazy thing is that the connection to the pylon is literally 3 or 4 bolts. That's the insane thing. Big bolts, don't get me wrong. Very big bolts. Very interesting to see the connection mechanism that they use. Yeah, it's very interesting to see that there's that when you look at how they actually connect the engine to the pylon. There's sort of like, 2 main big bolt connections, maybe 3 or 4, but certainly not many more than that. That connect the main engine assembly up onto the pylon, and then of course it's all electronic blocks that are just connected. Lots of electrical connections. I think that I think everything on those engines is electrically powered, so I'm not sure as there would be any hydraulic. I mean, there would be pumps and ancillaries that are driven by hydraulics. The electrical start system is it's basically doing what normally an air start system would do. That is powered by the APU, the electrical systems, which turn the main fan assembly and then get everything moving up to a certain point where it's creating its own compressed air, which then starts the whole system, keeps the whole system going. But I think it is all done electronically. Very interesting how the Trent and the Gen X engines are made. J-Loaf, who here has flown on an A340? I don't know. I haven't. Ken Motshaw. Shari Hellier. But I'd imagine they'll get that done overnight. That engine will be
removed and the new one installed overnight, I would imagine. Don't want to keep that aircraft on the ground for any longer than they have to. Michael, I think we can quite easily transition to King from Queen. It's a great shame that we have to, but I don't see any great issue with doing it. Funny enough, Rav H, it's probably more difficult to remove an engine from a Mini than it is to remove a Trent 1000 engine from a... First of all, you haven't got like a gap that's sort of like, 4 inches, and you've got to get your whole arm in there. What's that, Gilly? Simon Ice 41, good evening to you. Thank you very much indeed. God save the King. JG May, the Queen visited us in Canada more than any other country. I got to see her up close at the Commonwealth Games in '78. May she rest in peace. Thank you very much. Lovely words, JG. Thank you. Dane Grayson, he could never be a mechanic on an aircraft because he'd have to double check. Well, you wouldn't have to check, because I think there are people that check your checks, if you see what I mean. Captain's Car Marshal, cowling will only be removed when the engine needs to be detached from the wings, I'm guessing you're saying there. Yeah, in this instance, when a full engine removal and or swap out needs to be done. Thing is that most of those ancillaries that we're talking about are actually, or a lot of them are already attached to the engine that's going in as well. Because that engine that you're seeing on the right there, well, there's 2 engines there, but they will have been tested at the facility as well. Although a lot of the testing equipment that's done in the test bays has stuff already to be bolted to it. So depends on the... Yeah, but it definitely looks like... I'm wondering whether that engine on the right there is the one that's come off, and the one that's on the aircraft at the moment is the one that's gone in, purely based on the fact that the cows are in position. Could sit there and look at that all day, to be honest with you. 757, here we go. Rolls-Royce engines. That was all the clattering and the noise that you heard, folks. Some bloke just changing his wheel. What's that? John Dufton, are engines worth more than the plane? No, John, but they are very expensive and a very expensive component of the aircraft. Kevin Pride, will it go out on a test flight before allowing passengers to fly on it? Probably not, I would imagine, Kevin. It will, however, be run up. The engine will be run up. But saying that, Virgin Atlantic don't have a blast wall here. like they do with British Airways, who have a couple. There have been instances where aircraft have been flown, test flown, but I think that they will run the engines up, possibly in their outdoor area that they have there. There's quite a significant blast wall there. You can't actually see it here, but that wall there surrounding the area in front of the hangar is possibly enough for them to be able to run the engine up and test all its parameters. Oh my goodness me, is that a beautiful, beautiful, what do they call it, harvest moon or what? But flipping heck, how big is that moon looking now? Captain Calculus, very kind gesture indeed. Captain Calculus has gifted 5 memberships. GP, check that moon out. Yeah, that is pretty damn cool. Paul Skilling, thank you. Icelandair 757. John Stoner, if you look, there's a man on top of the engine. Okay, let's have a little look. There is somebody up there, but that, oh yeah, no, you know what? That is somebody up at right on the but it might be an optical illusion. He might be on one of the gantries, you know. There's a couple of them up there, is it? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of access. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Is this plane going to fly through the moon? I think it is, you know. It's on course to. Here we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wow, she's a big old moon, isn't she, eh? Look at that. Wow. Blood red moon or whatever they call it, I don't know, but it is beautiful. Harvest moon. We've got a new member, Chris 1988. Somebody asking me if I remember 1964. Not very much of it. I would have been just about 1 year old in 1964. LFC in. Ah, Death Star. D Stu, beautiful. Wow, Star Wars moon, Stephen Stibbons, teenager in sack, shine on harvest moon. Ben Brown, get the lamppost out of the way, yeah. We do that on Photoshop. Matthias, there's a scaffold that he's working from. Highly likely, I would have thought, he's not just walking around on top of the engine, he would be, it's a flight crew inspection going on for that 350. How far out is that 380 GP? Okay, she should be coming into sight. That's our closeout, folks. Curtain call. Texas Taco. Ken Alloway. Is it what? It's a 747 on the top, mate. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing him. CHS, indeed. Scott A, hello and warm, heartfelt greetings from Pennsylvania. My sincerest condolences and prayers on the passing of Her Majesty. May Queen Elizabeth II rest in peace. God save the King. Thank you very much indeed, Scott A. David E, where in London will the Queen's body be flown into from Edinburgh? I think she'll probably go into Northolt, I would imagine. Princess Anne is bringing her home. Interesting. Okay, we're going to obviously accompany her. Yeah. Chipaz, will Air Force One go into Stansted or here? Interesting. Well, we'll have to check all of that, won't we? We'll have to check all of that, see what's going on. Are we talking about next? But I'm not going. Yeah, but how long are they? They're not going to. They check in the APU there as well. Looks like there's a couple of doors that open up, hatch doors literally underneath the APU, which open up. She's having a right old go over, isn't she? IJSF1 is a new member. Welcome, IJSF1. You are very warmly welcomed here on Big Jet TV. Anderson J, how you like those folding winglets on the 777X? Yes, indeed. Unique. Unique is the word, isn't it? Interesting how they sort of like the way they fold. They're not sort of like, you know, I mean, they are hydraulically powered, but they also almost fall under their own gravitational fall, if you know what I mean. It's a very quick action that they move. But what is impressive is when you look at them up close and see how big the bolts are. And well, I think it's just one single bolt that runs. Well, no, it wouldn't be that runs through. You know what it is? It's the equivalent of, or much like, the locking mechanism on a 747 or on the cargo door that you see. There's a number of locks which have to obviously bolt into place or fix into place. I'm talking about the main deck cargo doors, that kind of thing. There's an array of bolts that have to lock in place, and the 777X winglet is much like that. What's that? Yeah. Depends on where it's coming to, though, Chile. It won't come into Heathrow. Okay, there's nowhere to go at Norfolk for us, though. That is a full flipping moon, isn't it? Kind of works quite nicely for us, doesn't it? Is that what it is? So somebody mentioning tonight, very interesting, that Rolls-Royce have pulled the plug on the Boom project due to financial, well, due to the cost that it's going to incur, I'm guessing, is the way they're looking at it. You know, the way things are, the way that the world is going at the moment, it's a lot of money that they were expected to plough into the Boom project, and I don't know if it was actually how much of the engine was going to be undertaken by Rolls-Royce, whether it was just going to be maybe the combustor, maybe the front end, maybe the back end, who knows. But with them pulling the plug, it's certainly going to put the Boom project back, I would imagine, by some degree. No doubt they will say everything's fine, and hopefully they will manage to find an alternative engine manufacturer to manufacture and supply. But also, don't forget, you're talking about research and development here, man. I mean, it's a lot of research and a lot of development for an engine that's not a standard type of engine. So let's hope that this Emirates 380 gives us a big warm welcome, and well, we will then say farewell, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday of next week. It's the A350 stand. Tom 81, 99.7% for the full moon. Thank you, Susan Manning. I missed your comment. Thank you very much. She's been saying it all evening. The crew has come to Norfolk. Okay, so. Now you get a real idea of the startup sound of the XWB engine there. Starts sounding a bit like a GE, but then it peters off and stops. Mark Chandler, Her Majesty will travel by road to Edinburgh tomorrow. 2 days lying in state at Holyrood, then fly from Edinburgh to RAF Norfolk. Cortège will then proceed to Buckingham Palace. Okay, there you go. Cortège. Is it cortège? Gaz, giving a shout out to whomever gifted the membership. That's very kind of you, Gaz. Thank you to anyone who's gifted membership tonight. Very, very kind gesture, I have to say. Tony, Rolls-Royce have been bitten before developing the engine for the TriStar, yes, which ended up with Pratt & Whitney, wasn't it? I think the TriStar engine. Yeah, I don't want to give do all that research and development and then have them pass it on to somebody else. Bang out of order. GP, do you want to, shall we run the, you there? tight as well. No. But I think the bird sounds quite nice. Yeah. Is this it now? Is this it now? The Giant, just dwarfing everything. We've got right, folks. There you go. Thank you to everybody for your very kind words, for your reflections. And yeah, for everything that you've said tonight. Sorry if I've missed so many comments, as is always the case with me, as you can understand. But yeah, it's been great having you here with us, sharing these moments, and we will of course be back on Wednesday. If anything else is happening in the meantime, folks, we will let you know, of course. You can find out all the information you need to find out via the app as well, because that is where we will be posting it. Thank you to everybody. Really appreciate your company. And again, thank you to everybody who's written in, writing to us, but also writing to the nation, I think is the best way to describe it. Yeah. Thank you so much. We're going to leave you with what we put up at the front end with Her Majesty, and a little bit of time to sort of like, only 60 seconds, but a little bit of time to reflect on what a wonderful woman she was, and a lovely little old lady at the end of her life, wasn't she? You know, like your nan or whomever it might be. But thank you. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Take care, folks. See you. Bye-bye.